What if everything you've learned about history was incomplete? What if the books we read and the documentaries we watch tell only a fraction of our true journey? Official history is built on the evidence we find. But what about the evidence we've lost? There are legendary objects that have vanished into the mists of time. We're not just talking about jewels or gold, but about artifacts that held a power and knowledge capable of shaking the foundations of our world. If they were found today, they could rewrite entire chapters of the human story. Welcome to Light and Shadows Global, the place where we investigate the mysteries that dwell on the frontiers of our knowledge. Today, we're on the hunt for 3 lost treasures that, if rediscovered, could change everything. Our quest begins with an object that is perhaps the most sacred and powerful of all, an artifact that, according to Scripture, contained the power of the divine itself. We are talking about the Ark of the Covenant. Described as a chest of acacia wood overlaid with gold inside and out, and with 2 golden cherubim on its lid, the Ark held the tablets of the 10 Commandments. But it was much more than a reliquary. In ancient texts, it is described as a weapon, a tool for direct communication with God and a symbol of His presence on earth. Wherever the Ark went, victories were won and extraordinary events occurred. For centuries, it was the center of the Hebrew faith, kept in the most sacred place of Solomon's temple in Jerusalem. And then, around 587 BC, the Babylonian army invaded the city. And in the detailed records of everything that was looted, there is not a single mention of the Ark of the Covenant. The most important object in the temple simply vanishes from history. How could something so fundamental disappear without a trace? 2 main theories attempt to answer this question. The first takes us south to Ethiopia. An ancient Ethiopian tradition recorded in the book Kebra Nagast claims that the son of King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba took the ark to his kingdom to protect it. According to this tradition, the original ark is kept to this day in a small chapel in the city of Aksum, protected by a single guardian monk who can never leave the site. No one is allowed to see it. Could it be possible? The second theory suggests that the ark never left Jerusalem. Aware of the imminent invasion, the temple priests would have hidden it in a complex system of tunnels and secret chambers built for this very purpose beneath the Temple Mount. There it would remain, safe, waiting for the day the temple would be rebuilt. Imagine the impact of its discovery. If we found it in Ethiopia, it would validate an oral tradition thousands of years old. If we found it under Jerusalem, it would be the greatest archaeological discovery of all time, an event of global proportions. Our second treasure is not made of gold, but of something infinitely more valuable: knowledge. For centuries, the city of Alexandria in Egypt was the intellectual beacon of the world, and at its heart stood the great Library of Alexandria. It was not just a repository of books, it was a research center, a university, the place where the greatest minds of antiquity gathered to debate, calculate, and map the universe. It is estimated that it housed over 500,000 papyrus scrolls containing the entirety of the knowledge of that era. What exactly did we lose? We lost the complete works of the great Greek philosophers and playwrights, of which we only have fragments today. We lost astronomical treatises that mapped the stars with a precision that would only be achieved again 1,000 years later. We lost knowledge of medicine, mathematics, and engineering that could have accelerated human progress by centuries. We lost the history of entire civilizations told by them. Contrary to the popular myth, the library was not destroyed in a single fire. Its fall was a slow process, a series of destructive events over several centuries. But this opens a fascinating possibility. Faced with danger, many scholars may have foreseen the end and smuggled the most important scrolls out of the city. The theory is that copies or even originals survived, hidden in monasteries, in secret libraries like the Vatican's, or in private collections passed down through generations. The discovery of just one of these lost texts would be like finding a missing link in our intellectual history, a window into a past of genius that was almost completely erased. Our final quest takes us to South America, in pursuit of a legend that fueled the greed of conquerors for generations, El Dorado. But the real treasure is not a city paved in gold. The real secret is much more profound. El Dorado, the Gilded One, was not a place, but a person. It was the title to the new leader of the Muisca people, who inhabited the region of modern-day Colombia. In his investiture ritual, the new chief was covered in gold dust. He would sail to the center of the sacred lake Guatavita on a raft and, as an offering to the gods, dive into the waters, while his people threw precious gold and emerald artifacts into the lake. The European conquistadors only saw the material value. They tried, several times and without success, to drain the lake in search of gold. But they didn't understand that the true treasure was not the metal, but what it represented. Each piece thrown into the lake was a record, a piece of the history, cosmology, and identity of a people. Those artifacts told the story of the Muisca, a story that was largely silenced. At the bottom of that lake lies not just a fortune, but a metal library, a time capsule of a brilliant civilization. Few items have been recovered from the lake's edge, and their sophistication is already impressive. What else might be there? In the untouched depths? Star maps? Records of dynasties? Secrets of metallurgy? If modern technology allowed us to explore the bottom of Guatavita safely and respectfully, we wouldn't just be recovering gold. We'd be recovering the voice of a people. We'd be rewriting the history of the American continent before the arrival of Europeans. The Ark of the Covenant, the knowledge of Alexandria, and the wisdom of El Dorado. Three treasures that prove that history is not a straight line, but a huge puzzle with fundamental pieces still missing. The search for them is a journey that takes us to the limits of faith, science, and ambition. And it reminds us that the greatest treasures are not those we can possess, but those that can teach us who we truly were. The secrets are still out there, waiting between the light of knowledge and the shadows of oblivion. What about you? Which of these treasures do you believe is closest to being found? And which one would have the greatest impact on the world today? Leave your theory here in the comments. If you enjoy unraveling the great enigmas of our history, don't forget to subscribe to Light and Shadows Global and turn on notifications. Until the next investigation.